Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter, it only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Grand Rising, today is a new day to start again. It is 12/30/2024. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I was pacing at my store. Sometimes I walk and I walk the floor and get my steps in so I can keep that belly down. It makes up for all the coffee that I drink with the sugar that I'm not supposed to drink with my coffee. I guess you don't drink. Yeah, you do. You drink the sugar. It's terrible. But that's one of those things that I got to figure out a way to get myself off of, but I haven't been able to yet. So that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. While I was doing my pacing, I was looking out and it was raining and there was all these geese in a cornfield that was, plowed and sitting in. It's December, so anyways, it was raining out and it's mild temperatures right now. And then all these geese were sitting in there and I was trying to figure out what the heck the geese were doing because I couldn't imagine they'd be eating the worms. I was like, I didn't understand it. So I looked it up because I asked somebody about it and they didn't know either. And this is where Google is useful because it said basically they're eating off of all of the carcass of the old stalks and stuff from the corn and the soybeans, which makes sense because they need the protein. But that's what got me onto this goose thing this morning when I woke up. I got up early again, obviously. I went with the red IU sweatshirt. Not sure really what this symbol is, honestly. I started to look at that, and I'm like, man, that definitely is... It's like a devil fork is what it is. But red's supposed to be one of my power colors, but I'm also an aggressive personality, so I haven't really felt like I should wear red for a while. But I think I might start bringing it out a little bit on occasions if I feel like I can keep my tone down. It's all about tone in this world anymore. So where am I going with all this? I started to talk about how basically my favorite thing is to slow play. I call bullshit on all of it. And I like when people assume and whenever I win, they lose because they don't understand. And then I just move on like I don't care whether you understand or not. And I might give you a smile, but I might not. Bill Burr has this funny bit. Bill Burr's a comedian, and he does this bit, or he did this bit, about he and his wife, who was a different ethnicity, and white and black, if you want to call it that. He's a big red-haired guy, and his wife is, I think, a black woman. In his bit, he talks about how he's talking with her back and forth, and he starts to make fun of some of the hypocrisy. And as he starts to get her laughing, but then he gets cocky about it, and then he crosses the line. And I just thought it was very humorous, and aligns somehow with me sometimes. With Sophia, I've really been resonating with, to go way off script here, the divine feminine, the Mother Mary archetype. Some would say the original Eve. Yin Yang. The two are the one. The two are the one. Why did the scale get tipped? Sophia is all men, I think. The divine feminine is in all men, I think. And like the divine masculine is in all women. From what I've kind of understood about it. Do we all not have a father? And do we all not have a mother? I guess that's part of the Jesus thing, is that he's born of the Father. So your redemption is in blood. That's your sacrifice. Your flesh feels pain, feels you feel. It's too late to apologize. It's already over. You played yourself. I do find giggles in others' misfortune, like when people stub their toe, of predicaments that I've found myself through. I find, like, when I know that the person's doing something and something happens to them that I've seen happen in my life play out, and you know that it's going to be okay for them. So even though they're struggling, you giggle because of the knowing of the outcome, which will ultimately be positive. Sometimes when you stub your toe, it helps you gain strength in somewhere you needed strength. I don't know why it works that way. It just does. So anyways, one of my favorite things in sales is to deal with couples with young children that are coming in to shop to purchase for their family. I enjoy that interaction. I enjoy watching the dynamics of it, the love, the support, the enjoyment of life, because you're building a life with your children. And I've had that, and I lost that. I've learned to live in the warmth of the memories. But they're not real, though. Memories are stories we tell ourselves. It's what we tell the collective. It's our case that we're making in our heads, in our life, our recording, my videos. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. The MTV logo with the space helmet, bubbles in space, which I always thought was kind of a dumb argument because it's all just conjecture. Trapping. Some people call the slow play that, when I was alluding to that earlier about slow playing, that's whenever you don't present what you have. You keeping your cards close to your vest, so to speak. Some people call that trapping. It's the obvious use of arrogance whenever you see somebody that's strongly overplaying, because arrogance is easy to detect because arrogant people walk around like that. In The Princess Bride, there's the Battle of the Wits, where they have the poison and the two. I always found that scene interesting, especially when they get back and forth on his trying to process. There's a lot of logical understanding in that, honestly. We only have our own perspective, honestly, is all we have. And when I say honestly over and over again, I'm not alluding that sometimes I'm dishonest, but I assure you that I am dishonest on occasion. When things are chaos, hectic, I was going to get into this, and I will, I guess, for just a second. I think sometimes on these words, they are like clan names in etymology of conquered enemies, and their names of these clans were basically put into our lexicon for us to say it in negative connotation of their names and their ideology, when it's not really associated with that. It's like whenever you take over and conquer, and then you say everything that was bad about the others, but you don't include anything that was good. And that's kind of what our actual language has it built into it, and that's passed down. So there's a lot of ways that things are passed. But anyways, I don't know why I was doing that with chaos and hectic, but I think there's something with heck and all of that. simplify when you're in situations of chaos, whenever there's a lot of things going on. Be aware, be decisive, stay centered, fundamentals. I mean, all of the best in every predicament that I've ever heard of were the ones that were grounded. The best part you can do is your part, though. Like, you can only do what you can do. And if you try to get outside of that, you are going to get yourself in trouble. One of my favorite scenes in any movie was Han Solo in the first Star Wars, New Hope. And Luke Skywalker is, for the first time, getting to get up outside of where he lived. And he's got a gun, and he's trying to shoot these things that are trying to catch them. And he shoots one down and gets all excited about it. And Han Solo's on the other side, and he's kind of his, I guess, bad boy mentor in the situation. But he's trying to ground Luke, and he's like, first he's like, "Great job, kid. I'm glad to see that, because we need that spark from you. But whoa, now listen, you are still responsible for me, so you need to chill and make sure you stay focused. Don't get cocky," is what he says in a line, and that stays with you forever. I wonder if I could sit down with Harrison Ford, like the real Harrison Ford, and have a real conversation. Like, just me and him sit down. We don't have to have it on video. And I just get to ask him like real questions and just, let's get it. I know you don't know me at all. You can watch my videos before the prep. You'll learn a lot, but it just like go at it with every question I got. I'll list them out and see if you can get genuine, real answers, if he's like a real person. Because that would tell me a lot. He played such a part in my life. And I think in a lot of people's lives. I mean, I wanted to make a movie because when I was a kid, the portable video things was starting to become a thing, but it was hard for the medium. They didn't have they had different types of tapes, and it was very complicated, but I wanted to try to do that. So I liked the Indiana Jones. So, I mean, I lived in Indiana, and so that resonated, and you're a boy, and there's something about that whip. and the scenes and his quirk. And then he really was, the playoff of Han Solo was probably, I mean, they're like the merged character. Anyways, it'd be fun to sit down. I mean, so I tried to make a movie on this little thing. I wish I could get the footage of that, where I was called Kokomo Clark. They don't have the same letter. That's also interesting, isn't it? Why do we need two letters that have the same sound? Anyways. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. He was a womanizer, wasn't he? Yeah, I mean. Did Indiana Jones, did he work for the Smithsonian? What was this whole deal? Like, what was the whole point? Whatever, I feel so betrayed. I also think the way Solo went out, Han Solo, the way he died in the movie was lame. I think the way Skywalker died. In fact, all those were big. The Game of Thrones, I mean, even like the way all of the characters went out that died was kind of lame. So I'm kind of disappointed with all that. I was an 80s kid for sure. I had one of the best childhoods a person could have. Like, my childhood was legendary. I probably should write a book about it, but it'd be hard to do it justice is one of the reasons, and I've got a lot of people I gotta take into account. Am I actually the worst version of myself? That's what I got here on the bottom. I hope I got more after that. I think you can redeem your spirit immediately. Like, I think following the way is the redemption of your spirit, your full purpose. Because your purpose is in your current moment, your current. But you still carry your own blood. And that blood is debt. There's probably debt that you don't even know about that's in your blood. And that has to be paid in sweat and tears and pain and death, sacrifice. You may not redeem your blood in this breath, but you may in the next, until you can't anymore. That's kind of what the duality is, I think. You can use the fuel of breath, of light, of following the way to redeem your blood, but it takes discipline. Nothing really matters to me. The Tao is great. Man, this was a long one. Sorry. The Tao is great. Do great. Be great.